So I'm sitting here editing the 101 essays video that I made the other day, and as I'm like watching it, I can obviously tell that the lighting in the video is not the best, or it looks like a lot different after I filmed it, but I'm just gonna leave it because I honestly like a lot of the things that I said and how I explained things. So I'm gonna leave it. I hope that you still can enjoy the video, although the lighting in it isn't the best. So thanks so much for watching. And here's the video. Bye. Hi guys, welcome back to AshleyonFilm. My name's Ashley and I'll be your host for today. Today's another episode of 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think by Briana Wiest. I still don't know how to say it. I should probably look it up because I've been saying it possibly incorrectly for the last few episodes that I've made of this, but okay, so in my series of 101 essays that will change the way you think, I pretty much just talk about each of the chapters that means or speaks out a little bit more to me. And today, so the chapter that I wanted to talk about today is called The Expectations You Must Let Go of in Your 20s. And at first, I didn't think that the writing in this book was going to be, I wasn't going to think anything of it. But honestly, after reading it, a lot of the things meant something to me, and they're things that I have been working on. I mean, that kind of makes sense since it's obviously called Expectations of Things That You Need to Let Go of in Your 20s, but I feel like going into it, I just feel like no one else understands and other people don't get it because everyone's going through their own problems. We're not all going through the exact same thing. Sometimes it's similar, but no one actually gets it. That's how we all feel pretty much. But after reading this, it made me feel like someone else understood some of the things I was probably going through. So hopefully, it helped me a lot, so hopefully it'll help you. Okay, so the first statement that that I liked that she put in her book is, you're at the beginning of your life. So before I continue and go on to this too, so you have to remember that it's expectations that you're supposed to let go of in your 20s. When I was first reading it, I kind of kept forgetting that, and I was like, oh, that's not true. And then I realized that it's things that you're supposed to let go of. So keep that in mind. But the first one is that you're at the beginning of your life. So I think that when she says that, for us, or just for people in general, 20 is at the very beginning of your life. It's the first time that you're away from your parents, you're growing up, you're doing things the first time on your own. But she actually mentions in the book, the little statement that she wrote to go along with it, is that some of you are reading this will not make it to the end or make it through your 20s. Others will make it past midlife or even past this year. Keep a skull on your desk if you must, but no one assumes that they'll die young. But that doesn't mean that they don't. And I think that just made it kind of open my eyes just to think about, that's so true that not everyone makes it to see 30, that you could die at any day and no one expects that you're going to die, which is it's a sad thing to talk about death, but it's something that's so surreal and that's true. You are not promised tomorrow. So it made me just really think about every day when I sit in my room or just at work, I'm oh, I have to do this when I get home, or oh, I'll do this tomorrow or next week, and I'm planning for the future, or if I put off something that I really wanted to do. It just made me really realize that who's here to say that I'll be here next week to be able to do the thing that I wanted, and it just made me think about the things that I was hoping to do in life and maybe wanting to have more fun, that I should just stop wishing to do it later and that I could do it now. There's no point in waiting for me waiting to say, oh, I'm going to do it next year or next week. It's okay to plan for the future, but just don't save everything for later because there's no promise that later is going to be there. And just reading that made me think about it a little bit more, just because, like I said, tomorrow's not promised. So the thing that I'm super excited to do, or maybe the vacation that I wanted to take, or do something on my bucket list, or maybe just even saying yes to an event of hanging out with my friends. And I would try to say no because I'm busy, or I have to work tomorrow, or I'm just tired or something. That could just be one more memory that I could have had versus what I didn't. But also respecting my own time and boundaries too. But it just made me think about tomorrow's not a promised thing that I get to have. And it Well, too, thinking about it, right now, of the popular show on like Netflix, or at least that I've seen on TikTok, a lot of people have been watching the show One Day. And if you haven't seen it, you really should go watch it. But the whole moral of the story, and I hope I'm not spoiling anything for you because I feel like it's been out for a while, so a lot of people have seen it, and I had just watched it this week, but the whole moral of this show One Day is that these two people met each other, and the one boy didn't really know that he was in love with the girl until it was too late. And then he spends the rest of his life thinking about all the time that they could have spent together and why he didn't recognize that he loved her beforehand. And honestly, you can apply that to this statement in your own life too, because not necessarily like about love and things like that, but just realizing you don't want to wait until it's too late to do something, because odds are you probably won't even know that it's too late, and you'll be thinking about it either how you should have done stuff earlier or you won't even get the chance. And I just think that that's a real eye-opener. Well, at least it was for me anyway, but it just made me realize that I should just stop waiting for things and just take the leap. So what if it doesn't go the way that I want it to or anything like that? But tomorrow's not promised, and that just really opened my eyes. So, all right, another expectation that you should let go of in your 20s was that you cannot outsmart pain. So Briana Wiest, I don't know, says in her book that you cannot think your way out of pain. You cannot predict it or avoid it or pretend you don't feel it. Doing so is living a fraction of the life that you were meant to, and it'll make you a fraction of the person that you were supposed to be. So this one, I guess it's just like a lesson that I'm still trying to, not necessarily still trying to learn, but something that I have learned. So a lot when I was a kid, I just didn't want to cry or be upset or really feel things. Like I didn't want to show or express my feelings really. So I just would avoid them at all costs. So when something like really sad happened to me or something that made me really angry, I would kind of just, avoid it and not really feel those feelings. And eventually like that, the pain or the hurt that I was feeling would eventually go away. And it did, but in doing that, like it brings up things later on in life because you're not learning the lesson that you're supposed to when you're feeling those things. So for example, like when you're younger and you cry about things, you learn that it's okay to cry and it's okay to have those feelings. But if you avoid doing like crying or being angry or letting out the pain that you feel, that translates into your older life. So some people go in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and even longer than that, never really learning how to analyze and express their feelings. And that causes issues in relationships that they may try to have, whether that's with like a partner, their family, brother, sister, whoever. But you can't outsmart pain. And it just is something that everyone's going to have to learn. I'm still trying to learn how to analyze and deal with a lot of my feelings too. And it's not an easy thing, and it sucks, honestly, going through it. But in the long run, after you felt whatever feelings at the time, it makes you a better person, because whatever you were feeling, whether it's anger or like I said, sadness, you learn a lesson, and you learn that it's okay to have feelings and that you'll be healthier in the long run because you expressed your feelings. Yeah. At least that's how I interpreted it anyway. I feel like a lot of these things could be interpreted any way, but that's just how I feel about it. I think it just helps to learn that whatever you're going through, one, you're not alone, and two, you learn a lesson through it, and it makes you a better person in the long run. So whatever made you upset, you learned maybe not to do something the next time, or to avoid something the next time, or to maybe just guard yourself a little bit better. So at whatever it is, like, you're becoming a better person. And if you tried to avoid those feelings, you're not going to become the person that you were supposed to be. You just kind of stay the same, and you're not growing into the adult who you're meant to be. The next one, is you can control what other people think of you. So in her little paragraph that she wrote, you can control how people treat you, but you cannot actually control what they think. The idea that behaving a certain way will elicit certain responses is a delusion that will keep you puppeteering through your life. It will distance from the person that you want to be and the life that you live. And for what? People are going to judge you, criticize you, condemn, love, admire, envy, and lust based on their own subjective perspectives, and regardless. That one definitely spoke out to me just a little bit, and it reminded me of actually a few things. So the first one is this girl, Fanita. She has a podcast and I love watching it, and she also is a TikToker. I think she does a few other things, but I can't really remember. I'm not sure if she's a YouTuber, but I know that her podcast does air on YouTube. But anyway, I just like her so much. One, because she's super funny, and two, because she doesn't care what anybody else thinks about her. And she just embodies what it's like to just truly be herself and not care what people on the internet or just people in real life think about her. Because at the end of the day, all you can truly be is yourself. And whether people have decided to like you, not like you, love you, hate you, it doesn't matter, because as long as you're happy and you're being yourself at the end of the day, that's all that truly matters. And there's this one video that she created. I think it's a short, but I'm going to insert it here. She just talks about how she doesn't care if people like her or not, because whatever, people are going to find any way to point the finger at you and say oh, I don't like you, oh, you're this, oh, you're that. And she just is 100% herself, and I just literally love that. And it's so hard when you're growing up to try to be exactly who you are, because there's always going to be someone out there that points the finger and makes fun of you and says that it's stupid, but you just have to choose not to listen, and she 100% does that. So,
and that's the thing about me, is I don't give a to be liked. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even liked when I was born, goddamn, and I won't be liked when I'm dead. And I don't walk around trying to please everybody, because I don't give a about what the next bitch thinks about me. I have real estate in their head, not the other way around. So that's why when people try to hate on me or try to tear me down, I don't be giving I had abusive parents. Come a little bit harder, you know?
I just love her, and that really just made me think about it. But going back to the paragraph that Briana Wiest wrote from the book, like she said, no matter what you do, there's always going to be someone who is going to make fun of you or tell you that you're stupid or tell you that you're not good enough for it. So at the end of the day, you might as well just be who you are, because there's always going to be someone like that. So it's pretty much just a question of whether you're going to choose to listen to that person and quit whatever it is that you love, or just not listen to them and then follow your dreams or to do whatever makes you happy. And you should do what makes you happy. Like I said, there's always going to be that one person to make fun of you or say something about it, but they don't matter. The last one was focusing solely on your own needs will make you the happiest. Despite what corners of the internet you may believe, self-sufficiency is just a precursor to happiness. It is a foundation. It is crucial, but it is not the connectedness on which human beings thrive. Committing, sacrificing, trying and trying again for people you love and the things that you believe in are what make life feel worthwhile. Meeting your own needs is the first step, not the ultimate goal. Which, being in your 20s, that's definitely a good thing to hear. At least it was for me, because I've been trying so hard for the past few years just to focus on myself, my own needs, and putting myself first, because I'm still young and trying to build a future for myself. But it's nice to hear from someone else's perspective that what I need is the first step, but it's not the ultimate goal. That I'm not going to get to the end of my life and just say oh, I put myself first, I accomplished everything that I needed to accomplish, and that's it. Because in between now and at the end of my life, what I'm really going to remember is how people treated me and the memories that I have with the people that I love, the memories that I'll have with my brother, my mother, and my partner. And it's just thinking about that, yes, I am happy doing whatever it is that I'm doing, but also it's the connections and the memories that I'll have and all of those people that I love being there. So like I said, it's just kind of nice to think about what I'm doing now is for me, but the whole meaning of life is the connection and happiness and sadness and how willing I am to not sacrifice, but how willing I am to put forth the effort to support the people that I love and that's important to me. And we can just make all the memories that we can together. So I really liked that one too, and I hope that that kind of helped you a little bit too. But okay, those were just the 4 statements that I really liked from that specific chapter in the book. I think she mentions 15 of them in total. No, 17 of them in total. But those are the ones that stood out to me. If you have read this book at all and there's certain things in it that you like, please share them with me, because I truly love this book and it's making me realize a lot of things that maybe I haven't before, and I'm learning a lot of things as well. If you liked any of the quotes that she had mentioned in the book that I had mentioned, please let me know down below. And thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye.